We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stephenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stephenson, you'll find your light.
All right. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to Life-Changing Conversations to Inspire Action. I am Dr. Laxley, and how's everyone doing? We have quite a few folks on with us today. Dr. Donna, we have the Honorable Leonard, we have Elizabeth. How are we doing today, guys?
I'm great.
Great.
I'm
Good.
fine. I'm fine also.
Elizabeth, good to see you. All right.
Good to
So we're live, guys. So just say we're live. All right, we're live. So Elizabeth, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Doc.
Awesome. Dr. Donna, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. We have a packed show today. I wanted to bring in all of us on so we could have a conversation about our CBO, because that's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. We have some serious work to do ahead of us. But let's check in with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, talk to us for a moment.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doc. This evening I'm not very, very fine. Just from the hospital some days ago, and just to introduce to the world who I am. I am Elizabeth. Sitawa, Kisiangani. I am a cancer survivor and also I'm a cancer fighter. I am an advocate. I am a mother. I am a woman whose life has been deeply reshaped, and it has been deeply reshaped by pain and also reshaped by purpose. My journey into cancer advocacy was not by choice, but it was born out of lived experience. When cancer entered my body, it did not just attack my body, but the same cancer shook my identity. It shook my family. It shook my finances, and above all, cancer also shook my faith. I experienced the fear of hospital corridors, the silence that really follows a diagnosis of cancer, the stigma that comes with cancer, and also that stigma that comes when actually most people who don't understand really what cancer means, the loneliness of fighting cancer, that so many people are really afraid to talk about. These moments, as I talk about myself, were those moments that I came face to face with death, moments where my family, especially my father, who is a medic, even feared losing me. The moments, these were the moments that I lost so much weight in kilograms. I lost more than 65 kilograms. I lost a lot of strength. I lost confidence. And I could barely even recognize myself. But in the same moments, I discovered something very, very powerful. As I fought, as I kept on fighting this cancer, I discovered something very powerful. And that something very powerful was the strength of the community, the need to have very honest conversations, and the lack of support that most cancer patients usually face just beyond the cancer treatment. For now, that is what I can talk about as I introduce myself as Elizabeth Sitawa Kisiangani. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Honorable Lenny, can you do a quick, brief introduction of yourself and talk to us about why, as a leader, and why health advocacy is so important to you?
Thank you so much, Prof. and Dr. Laxley and all on the panel this evening. My name is Honorable Lenny Soita, Kasaya, having been an elected member and working now with the county government as a chief of staff in administration and all the government work and responsibility. My meeting with Elizabeth actually was a very big coincidence, because Elizabeth is like a magic that has rotated around us and has linked me to Professor Laxley, linked me to Dr. Donna Thompson mysteriously. Because when I started following Elizabeth, I got so much interested into this cancer menace. Fine, it was existing It was there in my family, but I was ignorant about it until I had an opportunity now to interact with Elizabeth boldly, is when it came to me to realize that this thing is really a monster, and most of us are suffering without even understanding how we are suffering. Looking at the African society and community where I belong, we've lost people who thought maybe they had been bewitched. We thought we lost people who ignorantly never knew what they were suffering from. And it was not their wish, because they could not get an opportunity to understand what was really eating them up. Until I came to be bold enough to share with Elizabeth, she opened me to the world of the cancer fighters and most of the people she had come across suffering different types of cancer. That's how my journey to advocacy for cancer, that's how my journey of accepting to be a leader of the Elizabeth Sitawa CBO came, and I was really touched. And when it connected me mysteriously now to the magic of Professor Laxley, Dr. Donna, the chemist worked, because it's like we shared the same purposeful thinking, and it's like our vision towards philanthropy and advocacy and creating awareness and putting an environment that can support the cancer fighters and survivors equally, and checking on their families and their welfare touched me. It really opened up to me, because at the end of it, I came to realize that most of even my relatives who suffered and went before had died about this menace without them knowing or understanding.
Thank you, Honorable Lenny. Dr. Donna, please introduce yourself, how you became involved in supporting Elizabeth Sitawa and CBO.
Okay, sure. So my name is, Dr. Donna Thompson, and I am the CFO of A Collision with Purpose here in the States and, of course, in Africa as well. And of course, we've been engaging with our dear Elizabeth and her illness that she's fighting. And through our building of relationship with her and hearing stories of other members in her community and outside of her community who are fighting the same illness as she is, and the stigma behind it, the loneliness, the trials that they have, both the patients and family members that's dealing with the illness. Because if anyone knows about cancer, it's not just the patient, it's the entire family that suffers through this sickness together. And with that, we realized that we needed to do something so that we can extend some type of assistance to other individuals who were faced with the same challenges as Elizabeth and what she was going through. And so with that, collectively, we came up with the idea of starting the CBO with the intention of being able to support the community at large that is going through this horrific illness in various different capacities. There'll be different initiatives, which I'm quite sure we'll talk about further in reference to the CBO.
Thank you, Dr. Donna. And meeting Elizabeth was quite interesting how that unfolded, right? We visited Kenya a couple of years ago, and there was this lady there that we met. Her name is Elizabeth, and that's how we I remember when I was in Kenya, when we were leaving, she came to me and she said, she knew I was a doctor. She thought I was a medical doctor. So she approached me and said, I need to talk to you. I need to have conversations with you about this cancer thing. Not knowing that I am not a medical doctor, not very knowledgeable about it at all. But anyway, we stayed in touch and we maintained and built a relationship. And I think that led us to here today. So, Elizabeth, Can you share the core vision of the CBO and what mission drives the work that you are building?
Yes, thank you, Doc. The core vision of the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO is majorly to create a society where cancer is understood and not feared, where no cancer patient is stigmatized, no cancer patient is silenced, or no cancer patient is left to suffer alone, and where every person that is affected by cancer has an access to very accurate information, uh, compassionate support, and also this person suffering from cancer also has hope regardless of their background or their financial status. That is about the core vision. And when we talk about our mission as the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO is to transform the cancer journey through awareness, advocacy, and community-based supports. In that we are driven to educate communities on early detection, especially the early detection. That is where a lot of people lose it. Most people assume cancer, and by the time somebody gets to be diagnosed with cancer, you find that this person is at a very late stage, and the person passes on. So we want to advocate for the early detection and also prevention. And we also want to dismantle those myths and the stigma surrounding cancer. We want also to provide the psychosocial and emotional support to the patients and also the caregivers, and amplify the survivors' voices to inspire resilience and action to the community. At the real heart of our work, it is the belief. We have this belief that healing goes beyond medical treatment. It's not just a matter of going to the hospital, going for chemotherapy, going for radiotherapy, and the sort. It's beyond the medical treatment. We exist we exist as the CBO to work with the patients before, during, and after diagnosis. And we want to offer the dignity. We want to give the encouragement and a reminder that life, purpose, and impact will continue even beyond cancer. This mission for me is very personal. It is very rooted in a lived experience that is sustained by faith and compassion, and focused by on everything about restoring hope, life, family, and also the community at a time. That's what the CBO is all about. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Dr. Donna, I want you to jump in on that mission and vision. And then, Lenny, we want you to also say something about the vision and mission as well. So, Dr. Donna, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, Elizabeth really laid it out for us there, so I'm not going to take too much time. But yeah, definitely, our vision is really getting rid of the stigma, first of all. The biggest thing with cancer is getting rid of that stigma with cancer, and having those early detections, having those forums for patients where they have a safe place. Those are things that's very important. Making sure that anyone who's going through this illness, having a platform where they're not alone, they don't feel alone, they're okay to express how they're feeling, what they're going through. Having a forum where they have materials, how to take care of themselves, how to proper nutrition. Those are all things that the CBO will be providing. And implementing resources in the sense of having, at some point having a center so that we have a place where we can offer extended care for some of our patients and family members, whether if they have treatment and they don't have all the things that they need to go back home to have care, having somewhere where they can come to and where, we'll take care of them. We'll take care of, their spiritual being, their mental state, just the overall person, and engage in the families in those arenas as well. And having, building a resource where if someone is having to go to their doctor's appointment or they're having treatment, they're not having to go through those things by themselves. They can, come to the CBO. We'll have resources where it's not there now, but, ultimately looking at the far scope, we'll have those resources where we can help them along the way so they're not alone. Because as we know, like Elizabeth stated, oftentimes we see cancer patients, they go through this by themselves. It's a very lonely place and it's a very lonely disease. And we want to break that. We want to break that stigma. We want to take it apart and we want to make sure that we're taking care of each individual that is actually affected by this, the patients, the family members, and the community on a whole.
Thank you, Dr. Donna. Lenny, you want to add anything on the core vision and mission? Is Lenny, are you there?
Lenny's frozen.
Okay. All right. So, Elizabeth, at what point did your personal cancer journey shift from survival to a responsibility to serve others through your actions?
Yes. I'm very sorry because I'm in some sort of pain, and
Okay.
When cancer came, I realized that surviving cancer was not the end of my story. And I thought that this cancer was an assignment. It was an assignment that was given to me, and I had a lot to do with these menace that called cancer that is really eating not just Kenya, but it's eating everybody in the world. In the early days, my only focus was on surviving. I only thought of surviving. I only thought of I should beat cancer and I should live. I only thought of enduring pain, like the pain I'm going through at the moment. I thought of the treatment. I thought of the uncertainty. Yeah, I was really fighting for my life and the life for my children and then maybe the life of my family. But every time I spent time in the hospitals, every time I spent time in those waiting bays and those recovery spaces, every time I began to see myself, those are the times I began to see myself in other patients, especially those patients who had no voice like I do, those patients who had no emotional support. I watched how people suffered quietly. In fact, I would read, some even wrote some messages to me. Some even sent their photos of how and what they were going through as they fought cancer. So I watched these people really fighting. They were fighting silently, and they had no voice, and some of them had no information about cancer. And because of stigma, because of isolation, because of the hopelessness, these people were quiet. They could not talk about it. And the major turning point came when I noticed that even after I started regaining strength, others were still stuck in fear, asking the same questions that I once asked. Thanks for charging me. Crying the same tears that I was crying. And some were also believing in the same myths that I once believed, like the myth that cancer kills. You know, cancer kills. I knew I was going to die. And I saw people still believing in such. And that is when it really came out clear to me that that my survival carried responsibility. And I understood, I came to understand why God had preserved my life. I understood that God had not preserved my life for me. No. He had preserved my life for others. This pain I had a meaning. And my experience as a cancer fighter was going to become a bridge for someone else healing. And that was the moment survival to me became service. And that is when I moved from why me to who can I help? From managing my own recovery to building something structured, something sustainable, and something impactful, so that support would not depend on the chance or sympathy, but on the intention and action. And that is why the ELIZABEH Sitawa Cancer CBO was given birth to. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, just want you to know that you continue to show courage beyond any other person and your bravery. And at any point, I know you wanted to come on here today and talk because the CBO is very important to you. But if at any point you feel as if you don't want to talk anymore, you don't have to. Please, you don't have to. Just want you to know that. All right. We don't want you to feel, if you're feeling tired, just, it's okay. We understand. We appreciate you coming on and you wanting to share, because you talk about responsibility and that this is not about you, but it's about others as well. So we appreciate that, and that is who you are. But if you feel as if you want to take a break, please do so. Okay? Please do so.
Thank you,
All
Doc.
right. Thank you. Honorable Lenny,
Sure,
what
Doc.
gaps in cancer awareness, early detection, and patient support does this CBO specifically aim to address?
Hi, Doc. Pardon, please. Huh? Hi, Doc.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Pardon, repeat the question, please.
What gaps in cancer awareness, early detection, and patient support does this CBO specifically aim to address?
I think as a CBO, as earlier indicated by my first speakers, the vision speaks about the future. Our mission most likely focuses on mitigation. And as earlier spoken, actually, earlier detection of this menace could help us address so many things. But you see, in the communities and the societies where we belong, you see, there is those gaps now in even creating awareness where suspected even patients, or even us, because cancer is not something that will be shown on the face. But you see, when you look at our healthcare systems in this country, for sure, from the perspective of leadership, there are no laws or policies that have been very well aligned so that it can support, let's say, the tests that can determine, you see, like the cervical cancer test, the prostate cancer test, the throat cancer test, so that if these things would have been detected earlier on, they can be, at least a plan can be worked on that can help even the suffering patients. And you see, those are the issues from the leadership perspective. We need to look at it. I'm talking from the county level, and I'm also addressing the national level of this country. You see, like the healthcare system here, both in our country and in Africa, initially, the risk here in the sub-Saharan Africa and Kenya and where we belong was malaria, which was the fastest killer. But you see, the records and the data statistics are now changing because cancer has turned out now to be one of the fastest and the most devastating disease. If well detected, it can be reversed and it can even be cured. But you see, the problem is misdiagnosis, and a patient stays with the condition until it reaches the last stage, is when somebody is now discovering that what we were dealing with was a different thing and it was cancer. And that is those are the misses that we have in our healthcare system. But as a leader, this CBO is there to interact with government institutions and non-governmental institutions and even research institutions. We are appealing to well-wishers and people who can onboard, so that as we move out as an organization, we move together. If it's creating awareness, we move together. If it's organizing workshops, meeting with people, taking them through the different stages of which type of cancer diseases do we have, what could be the causes, how do we prevent. You see, there are even dietary related cancer. There are even working conditions related cancer that can cause cancer. So those are now the issues and creating awareness, which we really need. But you see, as a CBO, we are also limited because resources now must be pumped in. And you see, how do you get this? We need to have a clear strategy of resource mobilization. We need to do proposals to would-be well-wishers and donors who want to come in. But equally, we also work with the healthcare system, both at the county and the national level, to support us in creating this awareness, Prof.
Thank you so much, Honorable Lenny. So, Dr. Donna, and talking about support, why are structure, governance, and strategy essential for turning a vision, a cancer vision, into a sustainable mission, which is what we're all about building, a sustainable mission? Why is it so important?
Well, it's extremely important because, for one, that is our support system. Our, just as Honorable Lenny said, our medical infrastructure, our governmental infrastructure, those are all support systems that we need on board so that we can provide the services and the care that the community will need, whether it's educating individuals on, like Honorable Lenny said, dietary foods, chemicals, different things that's in their community that can be causing harm to the body, what they're eating, what their intake is, how to have better diets, how to take care of themselves, preventative measures. So those organizations, they are extremely important so that we can sustain what we're doing, and also they'll be able to provide different services, whether it's just resources. They may have research studies, research programs that is taking place, different treatment options that they may have at the time that we will be able to offer individuals who are a part of the CBO some of those services. So that networking and co-working together is extremely important so that we can somehow support our families and our community and patients who are going through this, so that we can have better outcomes and also better quality of life, when individuals are succumb to these illnesses. So that buy-in we have to have it in order to sustain what we're doing, because we cannot do it without the support of those entities.
Dr. Donna, you touched on individuals and families, because cancer does affect individuals alone. It affects families and communities. So,
yes.
So, Honorable Lenny, what are the most urgent needs cancer patients and families face that this organization, our CBO, will meet?
One, Doc, I want to speak about just that awareness and earlier detection. So we need to come up with a strategy and reach out to medical institutions that can be able to even do some tests on some of our individuals, particularly those ones that we suspect that they are angling to the direction of cancer. Yes, I know there are so many conditions, but because of our daily interaction, and not Elizabeth alone, and I'm happy at least we gave her time to go and rest. You see, we've learned quite a lot, and I think as an organization, I have introduced to you so many people who were at different levels, but because of the privacy, personally, I'm not a medic. Actually, me, I'm a finance and a marketing expert. But because of the passion and the drive of how do we reach out to these people, because I've seen them suffer. I've personally managed even to see men who have died of breast cancer. And I can tell you the situation was bad and it was quite devastating. But you see, these are people now, their families run away from them. Everybody, even there's no caregiver. You see, here in Africa, here in Kenya, you can't get a free caregiver. It's only on mercy and on charity. But if we come up with a way that we can support and encourage and get some tokens to support even people who can also give the cancer fighters, survivors, and patients a decency, because what came to my mind was this person, as far as he's suffering, he needs to suffer with dignity, with little pain, where we can afford even to provide painkiller drugs. We can afford to give sanitation. We can afford to get some food for both the patient. And you see, the moment cancer brings you down, if you are the breadwinner, then it means the whole family structure is collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
Even the children will not be able to go to school. Even the wife, assuming it is the man who is the breadwinner and has gone down, she will not even afford food. She will not even afford healthcare. Yes, I'm happy the national government now, through our president, is coming up with this shift or SHA, Social Health Authority, that is looking at the insurance fund now in a different perspective. But you see, this is a new concept that is yet to even get to the people. Two, we still have problems because sometimes, you see, I can speak this without fear of reprisal or fear of reprimand. We are told and convinced that somebody will go to hospital and maybe get medication and has got the right. But the moment a patient reaches there, you are told, if you are not registered on this, you have not paid, you have not subscribed, you don't have money, that patient will be turned away. And that is the sad situation about what is happening now here. And that's why we are saying, as leaders and leadership of this country, we must take the bullet and say, if it has to work, let it work. But there's quite a lot that needs to be done. And as a CPO, I want just to appreciate you gentlemen for the support, for the initiatives that you have come through, both while you are in this country, while you are away, and that has given me the impetus and the strength to say that we cannot abandon this cause of this CBO, because we are not thinking about Elizabeth alone. We are thinking about the entire community. And the more strong we become, it's the more we can be able to help the communities around us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Elizabeth just texted me to say that she will not be able to finish the live as much as she would want to and like to, but she's not feeling well, and we know that. So just keep sending her your love, sending her strength, and just keep blessing her and keep praying for her. There's no stronger, no more braver a person than Elizabeth Sitawa Kisiangani. And it's because of her and through her why we're here today having this conversation and talking about building a CBO in Kenya. So we owe so much to her, and other cancer patients and family members owe so much to her. And that's who she is, so powerful. So Dr. Donna, healing must address the whole person. Must. So why is psychosocial and emotional support a non-negotiable part of any effective cancer mission?
Well, that is your first line of defense as a patient. If your mental state is not well, I shouldn't say you won't. It will make it even more challenging for you to fight the physical effects of the illness. So your social, your spirituality, all those things that we cannot see are of paramount importance. And I would say that it is more important than any treatment that you will ever receive when you're going through such an illness. Because that is the one place that you can't do a scan to see. All right. You can't do a scan to see your thoughts. You can't do a scan to see your feelings, your emotions. You can do a scan to see a tumor. You can do a scan to see all those things, and then you determine how you're going to treat it. But what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, there is no test for that. So because of that, that is, I would say, the most important part of treating anyone that is going through a terminal illness, and family members as well, because it takes a toll on your mental state.
Mhm. And those children,
And those, yes,
especially those children,
especially the children. Yes.
especially the children. You know, as we're talking and we're talking about sustainability of the mission, it will require shared responsibility, of course. And now, Honorable Lenny, what role will or should institutions, government, and civil society play in advancing the mission of this CBO?
One, as we move towards mitigation and working towards the initiatives and the core objectives of our CBO, we will need the government support in the initial stages. One, to which we want to see if we can come up with health facilities that would be cooperative, so that we sign even a memorandum of understanding, whereby if we will have challenges or among the membership from the CBO, or a referral from a member, or referral from even somebody who is not a member in the CBO, we can get to take the patient through the necessary steps of even cancer detection, cancer management, and helping us to see how we can afford to give an enabling environment even to the fighters in this condition. So that is one of the rules. Two, I think moving forward, which I said it is still too expensive for even an organization or as an organization in the inception stages where we are to manage. Because as you understand, there is no drug, there is no even painkiller that is very cheap to manage this condition, Prof. and Doc. There is no, you see, a cancer fighter, a cancer patient need all along almost special diet, special management, counseling sessions, and some situations where we are managing where they need a lot of psycho and emotional support. And you see, we are talking about nutritionists, we are talking about psychologists, we are talking about the real medics and specialist oncologists, people who know exactly what they should be dealing and how they should be handling a specific type of cancer or suspected cancer in a patient. So we will need even to onboard on this organization, even medics. We will need to onboard on this organization, nutritionists. We shall need to onboard on this organization, even who are this group? I've said counselors. We need almost everybody. We need even the people, spiritual people who can encourage even the fighters. So as we speak as an organization, we are actually at the mercy of almost every well-wisher and a person of goodwill who can come in strongly to support us. And you see, to me, my happiness is to see most put a smile on the cancer fighters, put a smile on the families, put a smile on the children of even the cancer fighters. In any small way or in any big way that God can touch somebody, because it was not our wish to find ourselves in this situation that we are in. But it's because of having walked the journey, having been touched, looking at how can these people live a purposeful life? How can they see decency? How? Fine. If the worst comes to the worst, everyone needs to have a decent suffering and even a decent send-off. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. I said Dr. Lenny. I guess that's in the making, right?
I'm coming there very soon.
Dr. Lenny. So, it's interesting that you said none of us wish to be here. And Dr. Donna, I lost my mother as a result of cancer. And I know I saw you posted something today. You lost a dear relative.
Today's a year.
Today's the anniversary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of you, losing him. And so we have all been touched by this cancer thing. So I think we're meant to be here. This is where we belong. And I think why are we doing it in Kenya is very interesting as well. But I know it doesn't matter why anymore. I know that's where we are and that's where we're going to do the work. So, global relevance demands long-term planning. And the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO is a global organization with its roots in Kenya. So, Dr. Donna, what does sustainability and scalability look like for a cancer organization with local roots and global relevance?
Well, we definitely have to have the community involvement. We can't do this without having donors that donate to the organization. Without that, we won't be able to do anything. But also with donors, we know that that is also potentially limited. So the CBO, of course, will be looking at different initiatives so that it also can be self-sustained, self-funded, by, coming up with different business opportunities within the various communities and countries or wherever we're serving, so that we're able to also bring in revenue from the CBO so that we can help to offset some of the costs and be able to sustain the CBO when we're looking at the future and sustainability. Because if we just depend on donors, then our life at the CBO with the CBO could be very limited, right? So looking outside of that and coming up with business opportunities so that we can go back and put back into the CBO so that we can continue to provide the services for the community is definitely the goal and the long-term objective of the CBO.
Thank you, Dr. Donna. So the A Collision with Purpose movement, we are going to Kenya this May. Just a few months from now, actually. May is not that far out. And I know one of our objectives there is to, what is bringing us back to Kenya is the CBO. And we're going to dedicate much of our time while in Kenya to, building and growing the CBO. So, Honorable Lenny, let's talk about Kenya, May 22nd, when we land Nairobi Airport. What do we have to look forward to specifically in terms of the CBO?
There's quite a lot, Prof. and Doc, because as I think the CBO has changed the perspective of this year's 2026 outreach. And seemingly, as we move across handling other philanthropic projects that we will be looking at, God willing, because as Coalition with Purpose International and Africa, we have set a tradition, which I think is not going to change so much. But the CBO and the cancer is now also our focus, could be even now the main theme of this year, because as earlier as we've had philanthropic projects surrounding around the children's home, the vulnerable children, the ones who have been abandoned. We've had programs rotating around sanitation, where we have supported, you have supported institutions locally to put up even washrooms, toilets for the girl child and boy child. We've supported institutions with water tanks. We've supported people with clothing. We've supported people with foodstuffs. We've supported people. We've also gone against all odds to fight climate change, and where we have done some reforestation and some programs around that. And you see, for us to have a community that is even cancer-free, the afforestation, the climate change is also another very serious cause. And this is one of the initiatives of the Coalition with Purpose. But what I'm praying for this year as we come, the first board meeting that we are going to come and have is to look down into strategies that are going to strengthen the CBO. As Dr. Donna put it, You cannot rely on well-wishers 100%, because I know even personally we are still sacrificing, and we have sacrificed towards this cause, and we shall never give up, because this is something that we said it has to live, it has to outlive us, it has to be beyond us, it has to be. This is a sightful. We already see the future of the organization. In our absence, even it has to go on so that it touches on other people, and the other people, its children, grandchildren should take it up and take the dream further, because the situation is not going to change anytime soon as far as I'm concerned. So as we touch down in Kenya, 2026 outreach running, and running with almost everything. Our hands are full. The resources may be what will limit us, because they may be limited.
And I thank you for sharing that, but I don't believe we will be limited, because I know right now at this very moment there are individuals who are listening to us who will step forward and make a donation. So I don't see any limitations from monetary limitations. And I also know that we will be so well supported by individuals who will join the movement. And how do you join the movement? You join the A Collision with Purpose Africa, the A Collision with Purpose International, and you join the ELIZABEH Sitawa Cancer Community-Based Organization. So I personally don't see any limitation, nothing stopping us. We're not going to get in our own way, right? We're not going to stop ourselves. So, and I know that by the end of this week, our numbers will have grown so much, because we will have done such a great job explaining what this CBO is all about, and its significance, its importance, that there's nothing on this earth that will stop it. It is too important. We had Elizabeth tired, not feeling well, but she was so courageous, so brave to come on this platform to speak and to explain the mission, the core mission and vision of the CBO. And she did it in such a way that there was nothing else to say about it, because she did an amazing job explaining it. So with her courage, and we standing on her back, I see nothing that can get in the way of success, of us achieving our objectives. And that's my take on that. Now, Dr. Donna, we're getting ready to wrap up for today, at least. Tell us about you're organizing the Collision with Purpose meetup with the international, as Honorable Lenny called it, the Collision with Purpose International meetup with the Collision with Purpose Africa.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like from your perspective as the organizer?
Oh my goodness. So of course, everything is always just unfolding, right? But in my planning and my thinking currently is that, of course, we'll be touching down in Nairobi, spending a few days in Nairobi, doing some work in Nairobi. And then we'll be traveling over to Kitale, where Elizabeth resides. And I am looking at where we'll be heavily focused on the CBO, visiting families who have family members who are going through this horrific illness, and really trying to pull all resources together, whether medical resources, just different, whether it's doctors, whomever we can pull together to be a part of the CBO. So I see that this trip will be a lot of networking, meetings, and collaboration, so that we can kick off the CBO in a big way while we're there. Of course, we will do other community initiatives. We'll still focus on doing our toilet initiative. Not certain how many that will be at this particular time, but we'll still have the focus on doing that and visiting some of the orphanages. So those are still on the table. However, the bigger part of the trip will be around solidifying and really pushing the CBO forward.
Pushing the CBO forward. Honorable Lenny, are you there?
So everyone in the community, I'm telling you right now, you're in your communities, you have resources, you have skills, you have talents. Get ready to give back to your community because the people need you. So whether it's a church, whether you can go into, someone's home, spend a few minutes, with the good word. You have to be a servant of your community. You have to be a servant of your community. So just be prepared that while we're working, you're going to be working as well in your communities.
We're all going to be working. All right. So as we get ready to wrap up, let's Lenny, what is the cost, Honorable Lenny? What is the cost to a nation when the vision and mission of cancer care are not supported at an organizational level? What is the cost to a nation? What is the cost to Kenya?
It's too much. It's too much heavier. It's too much a burden, Prof. Doc. And our prayer and wish is that I want to agree with you when you mentioned that we are not limited to anything for this just cause that we are fighting for. And as our CFO put it, is a tall order. Actually, when it comes to the real situation on the ground, there are scenarios that are a little bit disturbing. That one I can tell you for free without fear and favor. And it's only that, the way Elizabeth put it, there are those people, because of stigma, because of not speaking out, who are suffering silently. But because of how now we are coming out to address and to mention that we have lost our relatives to this menace, and some died because of ignorance, which is costly. Some died just because of not having people who really understand what psycho support, emotional support means. And I really find it fulfilling to my life. If you even give, if you are in good health, whatever little that you have to somebody who is suffering, and put a smile to him, her, or even a children, whatever little that you can afford, because you never know that little, what kind of impact it's going to have to the person who is suffering. So this thing is too heavy to the families. I can tell you for free, Prof. Doc, it's not easy, but as you say, and as we have said, actually, we are not giving up anytime soon, and we are ready to do all that we can within our limits so that we change the world through the CBO, through our coalition with purpose, and through the many friends that we are going to onboard, who are going to come up with new ideas that will help us grow in different perspectives.
Awesome. So as you talk about friends, Honorable Lenny, Dr. Donna, why should global partners and donors see the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO as a mission worth investing in beyond borders?
Because cancer is not prejudiced to one country, one race, one people. This is a global disease that we're fighting. And I don't think that there is any one person in this world currently who has not been impacted by cancer. So that's why it's important for you to support us.
I don't know if that person myself. All right. So as we get ready to wrap up, Honorable Lenny, final thoughts.
I just want to appreciate the session that we've had, Doc. And I want to say that we are going now to come up. We are going to come up. We are going to speak to situations. We are going to demonstrate. But you see, because of data protection, some of the programs, some of the visits that we do to some of our friends, some of our relatives, some of the people that we are trying to help is a bit private. But for those ones we shall seek consent from, we will be able to demonstrate and be able to bring on board. And we are going to invite so many people to speak about this organization, to speak about our programs, and as long as we agree and they get their legal consent on the programs that we are doing. But there's quite a lot that is happening, which is not shown, because some situations, medically, you feel like you need to protect the privacy also of the patient and the people and the families. But as we shall not fear, we shall not relent to speak about it. And more often, we are going to come up with ideas and programs that we shall be able to share to the world and to our friends. Equally, we don't want even, maybe our enemies may also be interested to know what we are doing. So we are welcoming them, because that cancer may unite us, because it's going to unite us in so many things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Lenny, and continue to do the work you're doing there. We can't do this without you. We can't do this without you. Dr. Donna, closing thoughts?
I just wanted to recognize someone that's made a comment in the chat, and it's Wafula. And he said that I pray for your Madam Sitawa. I lost my dad, a precious gift, just a year ago from pancreatic cancer. And I just want to tell you, just continue being strong. We're here to continue supporting you on the healing process. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for praying for Elizabeth. And we'll continue to keep you in our prayers. So yes, so we are definitely, on the movement, building the CBO and providing support. Currently, we do have fasting, and I wanted to put it out there. We do have a fasting starting tomorrow for I believe 14 days, just a fasting that we're trying to do for Elizabeth. If anyone would like to join, you can jump on board and join that with us. It begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and it ends February 13th at 6 a.m. And even if you have a family member, who's going through this, you would like us to fast for them, a word of prayer, definitely connect with all the different social media platforms that we have. Join us so that we can support you on this journey as well. And I also want to say that the CBO, you will see where we will begin posting various resources that you have in your community if you're needing additional assistance, or even just trying to navigate the healthcare system to get to your appointments, your medication. So it will also be a hub for resource data information. So we'll do our best to build that out as well, so that that will be somewhere where you can go. But you do have to join. You want to join the organization so that we can support you as well. And I also invite family members, friends, if you have lost someone from this horrific disease, I know that there is lasting effects that happen from it. It doesn't end there. Come on board, join us so we can continue to support you as well through this journey of healing. And I thank you for inviting me to this platform this afternoon, Dr. Stephenson.
You are so welcome. In fact, you're both welcome. All right. So as we close today's conversation, one truth is undeniable, and it is that cancer is a global challenge. But equally as significant is that inaction is a choice and not a good choice. What we experience today is not just theory, it is lived experience, responsible leadership, and strategic vision converging around a single mission to ensure that No one faces cancer alone, unseen or unsupported. The Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO stands as a reminder that when pain meets purpose and compassion is given structure, real change becomes possible. So to Dr. Donna, to Honorable Leonard, Kasaya, and to Elizabeth, who was here with us earlier, I just want to say to you, all of you, thank you for your courage, for your clarity, and your commitment to building something that will outlive any single story and serve generations to come. Because that is what the Elizabeth Sitawa Cancer CBO will do. It will outlive generations to come. And to everyone watching, this conversation is your invitation. It is an invitation to support, to become an advocate, and to partner and to act. All right. So, life changing conversations to inspire action is not about listening, it is about responding to situations like this. It's about turning your words into actions and your actions into results. So, until next time, I'm encouraging you to let purpose guide you, let compassion move you, and let action define you. And that is all we have for now. Thank you so much for joining me today on Life Changing Conversations to Inspire Actions. Blessings always.
We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born.